So the next thing I want to talk about is linking student learning to an objective or to a learning goal. So there are three main questions to ask yourself as you're looking at your student ownership and engagement of your lesson. The first is, how do your students know what they're responsible for in your class each day? So does a student know when they come in what they need to be doing or saying or producing to have met the day's learning goal? And can they articulate that? Secondly, how do your students track their progress towards the objective or the learning goals? So, again, how do your students know where they are along this path towards mastering a standard or reaching a learning goal? Now, you as a teacher might know you have a process to track them, but do your students have the ability to track their own progress? And this might be through one class period where 20 minutes into your class, I'm able to tell as your student where I am along today's work path. But it might be that you have a longer term goal where maybe the week's work is leading up to a culminating project or a test or something of that nature. So then you want to think about how can your students track their progress each day to show that they're meeting the objective or they will be able to meet the objective at the end of the week. And lastly, how do your students make connections to prior and upcoming learning to see the big picture? This is really huge for engagement because a lot of times as teachers, we know why our lesson is today. We know how it connects to yesterday's and why it's building to tomorrow's, but our students don't always know how those lessons connect. And it makes it hard for them to buy in if they can't see that big picture. And if you can link that big picture to real life things as well, that can increase buy in even more. So, the big question here, really, to consider is how can you use the first 5 minutes of class to empower students to take control of their own learning? So that you do that through having a really good hook and then through giving students the tools they need to understand today's learning goal, track their progress towards it, and understand how today's goals fit into the bigger learning that they're doing during the year in your class.